And now moving on to our next story, it is about two locals of this island who are Arubans who connected through a cultural rhythm that belongs to Aruba. Meet Darlene and Roderick, two patriotic people who are brought together by their love for ASAMBEHO music. They are both ingrained in the cultural rhythm belonging to the small island nation of Aruba.
It is life to me. You know, I've been doing this, if I have to count all the years together, I've been doing it for 41 years. In the beginning, I remember seeing this young boy, but I didn't know who he was. Roderick just spoke about him starting when he was 5 years old.
Decades ago, when Darlene just started out with an ASAMBEHO band, she met 5-year-old Roderick. Fast forward to decades later to today, both Darlene and Roderick often stand in the front together, leading the band.
Here is this guy who was 5 years old. I was looking at him and not knowing he was looking at me. And now we're together leading in the front. And it's a feeling that you can't really explain, you know, but it's life. It's life. You're bringing a dream forward.
Let's talk about that for a moment. Darlene, as a female leader, doesn't go unnoticed.
And for me, it's a big deal because a lot of times I get people saying, oh, that's so cool to have a woman leading all these men, you know, but then they don't see past me that there's other women also, but I understand what they're saying. Like Tuesday, when we played, there was a few of the guests that came up and they said, oh my gosh, that was so cool what you guys did, especially you and the other guy in the front doing those moves and stuff like that. It was really nice. It was really nice.
In August 2022, Darlene and Roderick's ASAMBEHO band was invited to perform at the iconic Disney World Parade in Orlando, Florida. It was a very big moment for the small island nation, with musicians who are working tirelessly to keep the genre of music alive. What you see here accomplished by this ASAMBEHO band wasn't just a musical performance. This was a patriotic moment in time that is forever ingrained in their memory. It was also a big step forward for ASAMBEHO.
After all the practice and everything, and we went to Disney, then I understood what he was doing. He wanted to be the one to carry the flag of Aruba. And we almost didn't. He did whatever it took to make sure that we carried that flag. And it was an emotional 15 minutes, because it was just 15 minutes. But it was an emotional 15 minutes.
The level of exposure that Aruba's rhythm of ASAMBEHO received that day in Disney is priceless. Aruba's rhythm, patriotism, and our people were well received that day by people from all over the world.
A lot of Arubans traveled with us, the families of the ones playing in the brass band. We were 60 people for that performance. And Roderick had explained to the families, you can't jump behind us like normal here in Aruba. It's not a jump up, it's a performance. So at a certain moment, it's strict. So normally I will turn, you know, to give a sign. We practice that I'm not turning, so you need to look at me. Not one moment did I turn to the guys and girls. So my hand went up and you have to look at my hand and I'm giving a sign. So no Roderick, no myself, no any one of the players in the band could see what was happening behind us. We had a jump up going on, but not from Arubans. It was the tourists. And they started just jumping behind us, and they were asking the Arubans for the Aruba flag. They had some of the small flags, and they were jumping behind us. And at a certain moment, the Arubans said, well, if they can, then we're going to go too.
With that being said, the job of keeping this cultural music alive is far from over. Roderick has dedicated his life's work with ASAMBEHO in keeping this genre of music alive and well into the future generations. His school, called ASAMBEHO School Roderick Lopez, has 52 children enrolled and 32 students in the massive international brass band. Roderick's mission goes far beyond just a great performance.
My idea was not to just put a brass band on the road and let's perform and let's do something great. No, my idea is the passion that I has been grown with since I was a little kid. When I went to Holland, study, and came back to Aruba, I saw there was less brass band in Aruba, and that hurts me a lot because I couldn't imagine that in Holland you talk about 24 to 25 brass bands performing there, totally a different rhythm, but the idea came from the ASAMBEHO, and in Aruba, where it has been started, back then it's only 3-4 brass band, and maybe 1 or 2 is going to the parade, and it's not okay for me, and that's why I try to put my passion, because this is very, very important for the culture of Aruba. This is our culture, this is our heritage, so it's very important to keep it alive.
To Roderick, it is unacceptable any other way but to continue this music and to celebrate it on the local and international stage.
You have the steel band music, also the same. So the combination of steel band and brass band, ASAMBEHO brass band, soon has to come together, because this is what we want to make the role bigger, and so that you have been created. But in particular, the music of ASAMBEHO is very important to keep it alive, and that's my intention. And this is what I try to implement in all the guys that perform with me, all kids to perform with me, the parents, so they know where it comes from. And this is why also we are starting to perform outside of Aruba, bring it to an international stage, like we did in Orlando, in Magic Kingdom in Disney World, like we did in Doral, Florida, and also in Dominican Republic, and now we are going to Colombia.
If you want to keep this energy and sound vibrant and prevalent on the streets of Aruba, the community of this island can contribute.
For the community of Aruba to maintain this and keep this alive, have to understand that the kids are very important to start with it. I started with 5 years old playing in the parade, and it's very important for me to see more kids coming, more kids doing this, or otherwise we will lose this ASAMBEHO music.